弯曲万花筒，
华人见奇功，
生活有智慧，
财经一点通。
听众朋友们，你们好，欢迎收听财经一点通，一点就通，我是主持人李明。这一期的财经一点通节目，我们的话题是营销、战略营销、全胜营销。提到营销这个词，可能很多听众朋友们在脑海中浮现的就是西装革履，提着公文包，然后想要向你兜售一件产品或者一项服务的人。但其实营销的概念可以是很广，在我们的生活中，在我们的工作中，有很多行为习惯和与人打交道的方式，都是要通过一个好的营销的心态来指导的。比如说，如果你想要说服某人，如果你想要影响一个团队，那么都要遇到营销的策略。所以今天的节目呢，我们请到了国际知名的营销培训师，他是 Eric Lofholm， 可能很多听众朋友们也在网络上读过他的书，或者是看过他的视频。Eric Lofholm 呢，他是现在自己创办的国际公司的总裁兼首席执行官。他现在呢是一家专门培训人们销售艺术和科学的一个组织。Eric 他本人呢，他的职业生涯是始于销售，而且是始于一个失败的销售。待会儿在节目中他也会分享他在过去工作的那些经验，是怎样让他从一个失败的销售员跃升成为一个公司中最成功的销售团队，以及后来他在过去20多年来摇身一变，变为领导、指导、培训销售人才的这样一位国际知名的培训家，也是曾经经历过无数顶级专家的指导，这包括 Anthony Robbins 和Dr. Donald Moine。那么现在我们事不宜迟，就来听一听财经一点通对 Eric Lofholm 的采访吧。Well, thank you very much, Eric, to be on our show and having this opportunity to talk with us. So many of our audience might know Mr. Eric Lofholm as the international master sales trainer, but maybe some of our audience are not that familiar. So, Eric, are you able to give a self-introduction of yourself to our audience at Financial GPS?
Sure. I actually started off over 25 years ago as a sales failure. And if any of you listening, if you've ever struggled in sales before, I can relate because that's how I started. And we had a quota of $10,000 a month in gross sales.
Right.
And at the end of my first year, I had missed the quota 2 months in a row. And I was told I had to hit my quota or I was going to be let go. And that's when I met my first sales mentor, a gentleman named Dr. Donald Moine. And he taught me his sales system. And within 60 days, I became the top producer at that company. I've never looked back. I've gone on to do millions and millions of dollars in sales. And what I learned from that experience is that selling is a learned skill. And for all of you listening, you have the ability to improve in your sales skills with proper training. I then went and worked for Tony Robbins. A lot of people probably heard of motivational speaker Tony Robbins, and I was with him for 3 years.
Right.
And then 20 years ago, I branched off and started my current company, Eric Lofholm International, and we're all about helping people make more sales.
Wow. So, Eric, you're actually in sales training for 20 years. And before that, how many years were you in the sales business actually?
Yeah, so I was in commission sales for 5 years.
Yep.
And then I branched off and started my own company. And the reason I decided to do that is we all have natural gifts and talents. And one of my gifts is the gift of teaching. So once I learned how to sell, then I intuitively knew how to teach it. And so I started teaching it back in 1999.
Right.
And we just finished up our 20th year. I've traveled all over the world, have clients in many different countries, teaching them sales skills.
That's very interesting because like many of us, we might not know, what we are good at when we start our first job or start our first career. But eventually over the year, we find out, okay, this is where our passion is. This is where our gifted area is. And, takes on. So for you, it's almost like from sales and to the sales of the sales, if you may, right? Sales of the sales skill set. So with that said, Eric, we want to ask you this, just in general, what does sales mean to you? And why is sales important nowadays?
Yeah, I look at selling as a style of communication that increases the likelihood that the other person says yes.
Right.
So if you want to learn how to guide somebody to a yes, then that would be the reason you'd want to learn sales. Now, yeses are in all areas of our life. Yeses with our children, our spouse or significant other, if we have a boss, if we have employees, or in a business communication, if you want somebody to buy your services
right.
or your product.
Right.
And so it's a way to communicate that guides that other person to say yes. Now, we can't make somebody say yes, but we can deliver the most effective presentation possible, which gives us the greatest odds of success. And so that's what sales is to me, and it's important because there's a lot of different areas of our life where we are seeking a yes, and it's scientific. It's something that anybody can learn.
Yeah, from what you mentioned, Eric, it almost reminds me of some of the principles or some of the theories that you mentioned from your videos, from your books. Like selling is actually an activity, interaction. I believe you also mentioned selling is a service, right? Selling is honesty, integrity, and compassion, that kind of interaction with people. So does that mean that before we even go into sales, before we even start selling, we really have to understand what the customer's needs, like, in order for this whole kind of dynamic to work?
Yeah, what happens is that if I want to influence somebody else,
right,
I have to look at it from their viewpoint. And the challenge with that is our favorite thing to talk about is ourselves.
Right.
So if I look at something from my perspective and you look at it from your perspective, there's a disconnect. So if I want to influence you, I've got to think like you. I want to enter your world and view your experience from your perspective. So in selling, the way I teach it is we would think about this other person we want to influence, and then we would come up with a game plan of what would the presentation be, what would the key points be that we would cover, in what order,
right.
And then at the end of the presentation, we would ask the person, if it was a sale, we'd ask them to buy from us. If we were trying to get a raise at our job, we'd ask for the raise.
Right.
And so it's a very methodical process, very step-by-step, and very intentional. It's a very intentional style of communication, at least the way that I teach it. And it's very predictable and effective.
So if I were a business owner, right, say of any kind of services, of a product, and my goal is to grow sales in my area, consistently, everybody wants that. So, how much should I focus on the sales techniques itself versus actually, focusing on development of my products and services so that it really, meets the client's needs?
Let's say you've got your product figured out. Maybe you're a real estate agent, you're a photographer, you're fill in the blank, and you're really good at what you do.
Yeah.
The way I would look at it is it's three systems that work synergistically together. And one system is the generation of the leads in the first place. Okay. Who can I contact to introduce my service to? Number two is to book an appointment with them where you can introduce your product or service. And then number three is the actual delivery of the presentation and the asking for the order. And so we want to think about it from those three different perspectives. And we have these leads coming in, and we're guiding them to an appointment, and then we're going to go out and deliver a very well thought out presentation and guide the prospect to a yes. And in many businesses, this is a repetitive process.
Right.
So if you think about the let's say it's a wedding photographer. Well, they're meeting with brides and grooms. They're meeting with people, and they're delivering the same presentation. So I would advise them to take the time out to really organize that presentation because they're going to give that same presentation or very similar over and over and over again.
But then at the same time, I guess it's important to find out what the clients need, right? Although it's the same products or services you're offering, how do I alter it? How do I customize it?
Yeah,
so
the way I teach it is the first thing we do in the live presentation is build trust and rapport.
Yep.
And then after we build rapport, we identify needs. And if we're selling one-on-one, the way we identify needs is by asking questions.
Right.
So you would go in with, likely a list of repetitive questions, like what's most important to you about your wedding, for example, if you're using wedding photographer. Well, different people will respond differently, but it's still the same question. So I would have them go in with a list of questions to identify needs,
right.
And that's the way I teach it. It's done after trust and rapport, and sometimes people skip that step. So they're trying. I had a gentleman sell to me the other day. So he's selling to me. I'm the prospect,
right?
And he skipped over probing questions. He didn't ask me my needs, and I mentioned it to him at the end of the presentation.
Yeah.
I said, you didn't ask me any questions to find out what's important to me. And this is a very intelligent person,
right?
But he skipped one of the fundamental steps.
Eric, from what you mentioned, the examples that you gave, so basically reminds me, like I've got the opportunity to actually read or watch some of your seminar in the past. I think in terms of the sales approach, there's a big focus, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a big focus on the scripting, on the rehearsing, and on the closing, the importance, of that. But I gotta ask, on the other hand, right, we're really living in the business world where, everything is changing, and then there's so many different needs out there, and people are looking for like targeted and customized, solutions with them. So how do you balance this two? How do you really have a scripted and rehearsed teach approach to meet the demand of like thousands, if not millions?
Yeah. Well, if you think of it like a doctor, if I wasn't feeling good and I went and saw a doctor,
yep.
Then likely what they would do is they would ask me a series of questions. Well, what brings you in today? And, does it hurt when I hit you here? And how are you sleeping? Is there anything going on in your life that's stressing you out?
Right.
And so they're going to ask you these questions, even though every patient's different. And then they're going to go through their process of testing and, make whatever recommendation they're going to make. And so we can still have a customized approach. The fundamentals of the sales presentation are very similar to going and seeing a doctor if you're not feeling well. We're going to build a rapport. We're going to identify needs. We're going to bring the benefits to life. And one of the ways to connect benefits to the prospect is through storytelling. And so we can use repetitive stories.
Yep.
You might have 7 stories that you tell, and it doesn't mean you tell all 7 stories each time, but you think, well, which of my 7 stories would best connect with this prospect? And so I have a story of a small business owner that I helped, and he's a photographer and a videographer. He was uncomfortable asking for the order.
Got it.
So if I was talking to small business owners, and I might tell the story about Scott Southall, and he's a small business owner like you, and he was uncomfortable asking for the order, and if any of you are in that place, you might be able to relate with that. Well, I have told that story probably 1,000 times. But I think about where would that story connect? And then I have stories of real estate agents, and I have stories of network marketers and financial service professionals. And so they're repetitive stories, but I'm going to find the one that's going to best fit, customized for that presentation. As you learn these principles, you can really figure out how to most effectively deliver a presentation. The opposite of preparing your presentation in advance is winging it.
Right.
And a well-prepared presentation is going to be winging it almost every time.
That's very interesting, Eric. And as you said, maybe everybody is different, right? Maybe not everyone is a salesperson, or they have the skill set, or they have the I don't know, the prerequisite is that to be a salesman. And then actually a lot of us, kind of resistant to the sales world, to really be upfront, to promote the things that may or may not of our customers' needs. So how do we really, face this? Like if we're in this sales world, but we're really not that kind of person, how do we conquer that?
Yeah, in our culture, there's a stigma to sales.
Right.
And when people think of a salesperson, they oftentimes think of negative things like arm twisting, high pressure, manipulation. Right. The photographer that I mentioned, who's a client of mine,
right,
he told me, Eric, I just want to do the photography jobs. I don't want to have to sell the jobs. So a lot of people feel that way. But the problem is, if you're the person doing the selling in your company, if you don't do it, then you don't have any jobs. So you've got a lot of people that need to put on the sales hat, but they're doing it reluctantly. And so what I teach those folks, it starts with mindset. And if you resist sales and you go into a presentation, it's kind of like if you and I were going to run a race and we were the exact same speed on a 100-yard dash, and right before the race, I put up 5 hurdles you have to jump over. I'm going to beat you in that race every time because without the hurdles, we're the same speed. Well, mindset can act as a hurdle that stands in the way of us achieving our result. And so what I'm suggesting is that if somebody has a resistance to sales, they're creating a hurdle that's going to hinder their ability to influence this other person. And what we do with that is we shift our thinking. Instead of looking at sales as arm twisting, high pressure manipulation, we look at sales, and you mentioned it earlier, selling equals service, sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion.
Right.
Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. And so we literally shift our mindset. And there's 3 ways that a person can elevate their results. Inner game, outer game, action. Inner game is mindset. That's what we're talking about here. If you strengthen your mindset, your beliefs, and your confidence, you can increase your results. Outer game is the how-tos. Every how-to sales technique can be learned. And then action is the rolling up of the sleeves and doing the activity necessary, the prospecting, the networking events, the asking of the referrals, the delivering of the presentations in order to get the desired result.
Very interesting to start from the inner mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, you need to fix that first. And then it comes to the outer, like you mentioned, the how-to. You have to, it's better to optimize your sales techniques, to have the right approach. And then the last thing is probably just walk the talk, right? Execution, do the right thing that you have planned it out.
Yeah, and this is what I've been doing for the last 20 years.
Right.
Full time, all day, every day, working with people to help them with this. And in the near future, I'm going to be coming to the San Jose area to do a live training. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the interview. But for those of you listening to this, if you'd like to meet me in person and be trained on these techniques right there in your area, I'd love to see you at the event.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. And, Eric, as you mentioned, we all audience love like examples. I'm sure in your 20 years of like teaching, you've seen a lot of good or bad examples. If there's one, if there's one story, so one examples that you may share with us, like on how, the mindset or the sales approach or the execution steps actually change the outcome dramatically or change people's life dramatically, what would that story be?
Yeah, I have them all the time. I had one just recently. It's a woman named Nicole.
Right.
And she sells solar. So if you want to put solar on your roof so you don't have to use the PG&E.
Solar panel.
And she's been doing it for 7 years. And when she came to me in the coaching session, she described herself. She said, I'm not a same-day closer. And I said, I've never heard of that. What does that mean? And she said, well, I'm not comfortable asking for the order at the end of the first presentation. And so she would deliver this presentation and she'd get the other person likely excited about putting solar on their home. And then she would not ask for the order And so she might say, well, why don't you give it some thought and I'll follow up with you. Well, the problem with that is the whole point of the presentation with solar is to get them in a place where they're ready to make a buying decision.
Absolutely.
And if you don't ask for the order, now she ends up in this follow-up situation where she's, following up. So have you made a decision yet? And this could go on for weeks or months. Sometimes it might go on just for a couple days. And so I was explaining to her that you want to deliver your presentation and become the same-day closer. It doesn't mean they're going to buy the same day, but you want to ask for the order because that's the appropriate thing to do. And I gave her a technique called an agenda script. And what it means is early on in the presentation, she would say, so here's how our appointment's going to go tonight. I'm going to ask you some questions to find out about how much energy you're using in your home here and what the costs are. I'm going to go through the benefits of solar. And then at the end of our time together tonight, I'll share with you how we can install solar on your roof so you can start saving money on your electricity. Sound good? And then they go, sounds good. And then when she would get to the end, she would just say, what I'd like you now is share with you how we can help you put solar on your roof. And she just walk them through it and then say something like, so would you like to move forward? And then they're going to say whatever they're going to say. Well, the next month, after I trained her and I got her comfortable asking for the order, she sold 16 solar units in 1 month.
Wow. That
tied her for the top producer. And she had her best month ever in 7 years of selling solar.
Right.
And what's great about this, as great as that result is, there's a quote from Thoreau. And he said, once the mind expands, it will never return to its original size. So Nicole now has the skill set for the rest of her career to literally transform her results in sales. And that was all out of mindset and then changing the wording, I call it scripting, in her presentation. And these are the types of things that I'm trained in. I've been doing it for 20 years. And there's many, many different techniques that people can use to increase their results.
Very good, very good. So speaking of which, for those of you who are listening, if you wish to, harvest all these golden nuggets that Eric has been sharing, if you wish to be part of that, we have an opportunity for you. On April 20th, our Financial GPS group is actually partnering with Eric's company, and we're inviting him to join a seminar. And this is where he will basically share more about improving sales, improving your mindset, organize and optimize your business strategy. And I believe, Eric, you would have some opportunities for the audience if they come to the 420th events as well, right?
Absolutely. And I'd love to see you there on April 20th. Bring your friends with you. This is a great event. If you just want to recharge the batteries, get motivated, it's going to be a great event. If you want to learn great, real techniques like what we've been talking about in today's interview, I'll be sharing specific techniques you can immediately implement. You can bring your whole team with you. Yeah. It's going to be a great, great event, and I'll be traveling into the San Jose area there to deliver this training, and I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person.
That is very good. So if you are interested in this event, do like us and follow us on Facebook and WeChat. We'll have the details for the registration of this event. And also we'll put the details of Eric Lofholm, who we interviewed today, over there. And we hope to see you there. So Eric, thank you again for this interview with us. And we look forward for the event.
You are welcome. I'm really excited about the event. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and thanks for the opportunity to be interviewed.
正像 Eric 在访问中分享到的，很多人提到营销，马上想到就是数字和结果，但是最重要的其实是营销的这个过程。首先，第一是你要有一个正确的心态，要有一个能够接受营销的这么一个心态，能够有一颗可以和别人打交道正确和睦而且专业相处的这么一个心态。然后就是你的策略，就是 how to 他讲到的，我们要用一个什么样的方法，不管是3步走还是7步走，要有一个非常有计划的这么一个过程。然后最后就是在这些策略下引导的落实与行动的 execution， 就是执行力。那么相信如果这3点加在一起的话，你的营销过程以及你的营销结果一定不会差。财经一点通也和 Eric Lofholm 的公司有这样的合作，在来临的4月20号，我们将会有一个关于营销方面的讲座的活动，在南湾举行。那么在这次活动中 Eric 也会来到我们中间，和大家亲身分享他过去的经历，给大家分享那些20年中提取出来对于营销过程中最重要的那些要素。那么到时候到场参加活动的朋友也就有这样的机会，可以登记注册参加到 Eric 的 training program 当中。我们财经一点通也会将活动具体的地点以及参与的方式、注册的方式放在我们的微信文中，希望到时候能看到您的身影来到我们当中。感谢收听这一次的财经一点通，我们下次节目再见。
听众朋友，如果您想重听我们的节目，我们的网址是 www.dpmradio.org/Tuesday2。如果您想用 email 或者微信的方式收到每周我们制作的节目，您可以和我们联络，电话是408-338-7556。Facebook 的用户也可以到 Facebook 上加入财经一点通。我们下周2晚上8点半到9点再见。